if you got sick or disappeared for a month.
What's holding people?
What is up, everybody? We are back with another video, and this video is called "Are You Even Trying?" with 3 dots. Oof. We will see where this will lead us to. I'm hoping it will lead us to a deep dark rabbit hole where I can talk about it for a very long time. That's my main hope. Because if not, then why are you guys here? Because you know me, I love talking about deep dark rabbit holes and getting trapped in them. Because who doesn't love a good little rabbit hole to dive themselves into it? So, like I said, as always, I'm gonna go grab my water and I'll be right back. Like I said, we are back at it again. I got my water, so we are good to go. And as always, let's lock and load and let's learn some new shit.
Back from excelling beyond average? Do you think it's talent, belief?
I think people don't do very much.
A lot of people in our generation don't do shit. So the more fucking shit you do, the better it is for yourself. What he means is that not a lot of people do a lot of shit, is what he's implying. For me, I would rather make 3 school videos and 3 regular videos per day, which is not a lot to ask for about myself. But as always, let's continue.
People do a lot of talking about doing, not a lot of doing. And I think it's the doing that does everything. And I think that's and whether it's lack of motivation, lack of focus, lack of 100 different things, it just comes down to number of actions taken per unit of time. And I think the vast majority of people just wildly underestimate the volume that's required. And I think that's like, I hit on
Okay. He lacks what a lot of people lack, which is the volume that is required to do the things you want to do and say the things you want to say, which means you could be afraid. Everybody is afraid. I'm afraid. You're afraid. But fear is the best fucking motivator. What I mean by that is that without fear, you will get nowhere. You'll try to get somewhere and then you fail. And then you fail. And then you fail. And then you do it over and over and over again. And you put some Aquaphor on my cups. So I just feel like oh, fabulous. But like I said earlier, fear is the best motivator. What he means by that is that without knowing where the fear will lead us to, you may never know where this road will lead you to. Which is why fear is the best motivator.
So hard because like when I'll tell you a story to illustrate the point. When I had my first gym, I had a mentor who told me that he got all of his leads off of flyers, and so that's what he did. And so I put out a flyer, and I waited 2 weeks, and one guy called me and said, "Hey, you dinged my Mercedes," and I was like, it's the only call I got. So I called the mentor up 2 weeks later, and he's like, "Hey, how'd that go?" And I was like ready to give. I was like, "It didn't work," and he was like, and he like totally took it in stride, and he was like, "Well, what was your test size?" And I was like, "Well, what do you mean?" He was like, "Well, what was your test amount?" I was like, "Well, I mean, I put out 300 in total." And he was like, "Oh man," he's like, "hard to know if anything's going to work with 300. He's like, "We test with 5,000 per batch." He's like, "And then once we find a winner," he's like, "we do 5,000 flyers a day." And I was like, "Oh." So he's doing 150,000 flyers a month for his business, and I had done 300. And this is why, like, I think the vast majority of people dramatically underestimate how much volume it is. Like, I mean, right when we started this, you're like, seems like you tweet all the time. It's like, I post that often on a lot of platforms. Now, Twitter is my...
See, now, volume is the only consistent work that will require more output. Because without volume times output equals time, then what's the point in continuing on using your wasted time now? I would rather waste time making content and not getting any views than getting 1,000 views a video, which I never do. So as always, let's continue.
Home base for where everything is generated from. But like, we make 450 pieces of content a week. And so people were like, "Hey man, I've been making content for 90 days. And that would already put them in the top, 1% because everyone gives up. But if you actually made a post every day for 90 days, I'd be like, it's amazing. That's 90 posts. I do that in 2 days. And so, but they get there and they're like, "But I'm not Mr. Beast yet." It's just, and there's just, people think that someone else is doing 2 times or 3 times as much, but it's more often that they're done 1,000 times or like 10,000 times the amount of work that they have. Like, if you counted the amount of videos that you've put out in terms of longs and shorts or minutes of content that you've put out over the last 4 or 5 years compared to somebody, it's not even, it's like, it's so ridiculous, the discrepancy. Same thing with sales guys. They're like, "Hey, I've been selling for 90 days. So I'm like, "Okay, so how many calls a day do you take?" And they're like, "I end up taking, 5 or 6 live calls." I'm like, "Okay, so you've been doing it for 90 days. You've taken like 400 live calls." It's like, okay, well, this is John. He's closed 4,000 deals. Not calls taken, deals. That's why he's better than you. It's just like, there's just a dramatic misunderstanding. And that probably with a 30% closure, he's taking 12,000 calls. It's like, he's done 300 times the work you have. Like, it's a lot, or 30, but like, it's a lot more than people
expect. How do you compete with that guy? Because I bet there's a lot of those guys out there.
You start. I mean, I think it's like, you just start. And I think it's like, I think a huge amount of the delay that happens when people are starting out is the amount of time it takes for them to realize there is no easy way. So they spend a huge amount of time, they figure out how to do it, and then they spend a really long time trying to figure out if there's an easier way, and then they give up trying to find an easier way. And
There is not an easier way to do it. The only best way to do it is posting the post you want to say, and volume equals leverage. Without volume equals leverage, then the less leverage you have, which means the less volume that you have to outwork other people. So now for me, I'm trying to post 2 to 3 school videos a day and just one regular video. But at the end of the day, I'm probably going to be posting a lot more because I have nothing better to do with my time. So I might as well post, might as well get big and mainstream now versus waiting until later on.
just start the hard way, because the hard way is the only way. Real quick, I'm going to show you the exact 10-stage roadmap from 0 to a.
Well, yes. Without starting, there is no midpoint, there is no end point, and there is no reflection point. So do it now. Say the things now. Be afraid now. Because without the fear of being the exception, you are one of an exceptional. So I'll see you guys in the next one. And as always, stay yourself and stay you. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.